Hello everybody, welcome back to a more updated deck tech from the last video because I had a commenter who was very helpful and told me a lot of key details, gave me a lot of info on how to do these better and better explain what my deck is trying to do just so you don't get too confused on what's going on. So let's hope I can get right into this and make this a lot more clear. So long story short, this deck is going to be a ritual deck, which means I need to find ways to get rituals or ritual monsters out. That being said, we're going to throw a little party here called the Incantation Party. It's a very fun, very exclusive party. You know, not very many people get to come in. We do have some exceptions depending on who you are, what you're doing, but I'll make it very clear and very concise. Long story short, all these monsters you see on the field right now are part of the Incantation Party. They help search for other incantation creatures and other rituals, other ritual monsters, stuff like that. So let me better explain what I mean by this. The incantations have a very cool ability that if you meet a restriction inside your hand and you reveal something to your opponent, you can do other things. For example, the incantation Candle has an ability that if I reveal a ritual spell from my hand, I could special summon this creature onto the battlefield, plus special summon one of these other three from the deck. Now, what makes that good is if they are special summoned from the deck, they have secondary abilities. For example, if Candle is special summoned from any one of these guys from the one of these guys from the deck, I can go look for any ritual that I want, any ritual spell. Now, if Incantation Bookstone here is special summon from the deck, I get to get any ritual spell from my graveyard. So these two are very good synergy because this one searches for it, this one returns it from the graveyard to my hand. So these are really good to search out for each other or vice versa. He also has reveal one ritual spell. So the top two are reveal ritual spells. The bottom two, if you reveal a ritual monster, you can special summon either one of these from your hand onto the field, and the same thing as the other two. If you special summon one of these from the hand, they can go look for the other ones from your deck. Now, with Pencil Bloom, if Pencil Bloom is special summoned from your deck, not your hand, you get to get one ritual monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Talismandra is, if he is special summoned from the deck, not your hand, he gets to go find any ritual monster from your deck. So this is the same thing with the top two. It's a nice rinse and repeat kind of thing where I can go get it from my deck, play it. If it gets board wiped, play the other one to return it to my hand. Now, the Chalice Slime here is a ritual monster itself. I will never ritual summon this creature in any way, shape, or form. It is just here to have its ability that is, you can reveal this card in your hand, discard one card. If you do special summon one incantation monster from your deck. Also, during the end phase, you lose 2,500 life points if you do not special summon a ritual monster this turn after you have resolved this effect. So, basically what this is doing is having it so I can get any one of these guys out using his ability. Because let's say my hand has nothing but ritual monsters, but I don't have a ritual spell. Guess what? Bow, I can use this. I can use this ability, special summon him out to use this other ability, come from the deck, hit the field, go get a ritual spell so I can ritual summon, or vice versa. I have a bunch of ritual spells but need a ritual monster. You get it, the bottom two, top two, whatever. My biggest goal there is, like I said, if I don't have any of these in my hand to search for stuff, use this ability, discard something, get these ones back. Very nice little thing going on. And like I said, it's a very exclusive party with some exceptions. That exception being one specific monster that I feel like everybody likes doing when it comes to ritual summonings and ritual games is Manju of the 10,000 Hands. Long story short, he's going to be normal summoned. He can't be special summoned a lot like these guys in this deck, but he can be normal summoned out. When he is normal or flip summoned, I can add one ritual monster or ritual spell. So let's say I don't have any of these incantations at all in my hand in any way, shape, or form. Struggling, something's going on, I'm not getting the stuff I need. Summon one of these two copies in, boom, got one of the ritual monsters or the ritual spell. So I'm already halfway there, and then, like I said, it just kind of really helps out. He's more of the bouncer than actually being in the party, but they still include him anyways. Next, we're going to move on to what I believe is the biggest thing of this deck, the main thing that I'm trying to do, and that is summon in one of the three copies of Zaborg, the Mega Monarch. Now, the reason he's in this deck, because what he does is I'm trying to tribute summon him in by getting rid of two monsters. The reason for that is because he has an ability that if this card is tribute summoned, target one monster on the field, destroy it. Then, if it was a light monster, both players send as many cards as possible from their extra deck to the graveyard, but not more than the original level/rank of the destroyed monster. If this card was tribute summoned by tributing a light monster, add this additional effect. You choose the cards your opponent sends to the graveyard. The reason for this is because I have cards I will show you later in my extra deck that benefit from being in the graveyard. On top of that, his ability, I'm always going to target him. The reason for that is because he is a light monster. That is his attribute. Oop, accidentally hit the gamma. That is his attribute. I'm going to blow himself up with his own ability so I can send 8 cards from my graveyard, or from my extra deck to the graveyard, and then I get to choose yours if there's a light monster on the field. Now, this is hit or miss because sometimes I just need Zaborg to hit so I can send stuff to my graveyard. But if there just so happens to be a light monster out of these that was part of that tribute summon, he then gets to have his second ability, have an effect that I get to choose what cards go to your graveyard. So the whole point of this deck is to get him out. And the reason for that, I will tell you once we get to the extra deck. But next up, I'm going to do everyone's favorite way of getting rid of so many creatures at once, is 2 copies of Nibiru, the Primal Being. The reason I like this card is because if my opponent, during the main phase in general, if my opponent normal or special summoned 5 or more monsters this turn, as a quick effect, I contribute as many face-up monsters on the field as possible. If I do, I special summon this card from my hand, then special summon 1 Primal Being token whose attack and defense are equal to the combined original attack and defense of the tributed monsters. And now I can only use this effect once, but it's really nice. So if, like, say I'm slacking because I only have 1 ritual or ritual monster because of Manju and I need to wait it out a turn, Nibiru, if it's in my hand, just get rid of everything, put it back. You know, I get it, you get a token, I get a big 3,000 beater, it's whatever. But, you know, it's just fun to have that, so I have some kind of answer to slow you down in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully you're not playing a deck that does very well in the graveyard. And if you are, kudos to you. Next, getting into the ritual monsters, besides the Chalice Slime there, we have 2 copies of Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. If you haven't guessed by now, this is a Demise and Ruin deck. Now, she's just here mainly just because of the flavor text of being the queen, but I do like her ability of being able to attack again if she destroyed a monster the first attack. So let's say I swing at your monster, it gets destroyed by battle. I can then activate her ability, so then she can make a second attack in a row. She is very, very heavily reliant on there being a creature smaller than her. That is why I won't play her that much, but if the opportunity shows itself, then I will. Moving on. Got 2 copies of Demise, King of Armageddon, because what is a queen without her king, or a king without their queen? Long story short, this deck revolves around him getting to the field as fast as I possibly can, hopefully the same first turn, and basically blowing up the board, because he has an ability that I can pay 2,000 life points and destroy all other cards on the field. So everything that isn't him. It's very nice. It's a very good way of getting rid of everything, and I thoroughly enjoy it for what it is and how it does stuff. And it's overall one of my favorite cards. It's what got me back to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And actually buying this deck in real life. Next up, we have the bigger, badder versions of the King and Queen, probably older versions, I think, lore-wise. We have Ruin, Supreme Queen of Oblivion. Now, she has a couple abilities which I think are really cool. The first one being that ritual monsters that I control cannot be destroyed by card effects. The reason I really like playing her is because with Demise, he destroys all other cards on the field. That would include the smaller version of Ruin, but because of the bigger version of Ruin, the Supreme Queen's ability, she will not be destroyed by his card effect, which is really nice. So I have 2 big beaters that can just keep taking your life away. Another cool thing about her is that if all monsters tributed to summon her in through ritual are ritual monsters, she can just attack twice regardless. She doesn't have to destroy another monster to activate it. She can just do it. She has a third ability that if she does destroy a creature during battle, I can activate her effect where she will do damage to you based on that monster's original attack, which I think is really fun to do. Really great way to do things. Next up, we're going to the 2 big versions of Demise, Supreme King of Armageddon. Long story short, he does the same thing as a small Demise, except he has more attack, being 3,000, and defense being 3,000. And his ability, where I pay 2,000 life points to destroy every other card in the field, comes with a cool secondary ability that my opponent loses 200 life points for each card that gets blown up for them. He also has another ability on top of that, that ritual cards that I control, or ritual monsters I control, cannot be destroyed by battle. Now, that's very fun because even if you have a bigger creature than mine and you smack it and I lose health, that's fine. I'll just blow you up next turn. It's that easy. Beautiful thing about him is that if all the monsters that were used to ritual summon him in, or that were tributed to summon him in through ritual, I can pay his 2,000 life points, or I can activate his 2,000 life point ability without paying the life points at all. That is the coolest part about him that I think. It is only once per turn, but I'm okay with that because that'd be kind of busted if you could just keep doing it. Next up, the last two cards, quote unquote two, is going to be 2 copies of Ash Blossom. The only reason I say 2 and there's only 1 here is because it's coming in the mail. Long story short, Nibiru, not the cool, like shiny version of Nibiru, is my second Ash, just for the time being. This is just to slow things down, negate like activations of abilities, certain abilities obviously, but just to kind of slow down my enemy and try to get everything rolling on my side. Next, we're going to go into the spells and traps, which I am very excited for. Make this quick, sweet, and easy. First spell is going to be a ritual spell, Incantation Inception. Long story short, this is going to let me use the incantation creatures to summon in the Ruin and Demise, and they can exceed the level because a lot of ritual spells have a restriction where they have to be the exact level. This one lets you exceed it if you're using the incantation creatures. And the cool thing about this card is if it is in my graveyard, I can send 1 incantation card from my hand or face up on my field to the graveyard, except this card. Special summon 1 incantation monster from my deck and then add this card from the graveyard to my hand. I can only use the effect once, but that's okay. It's another way to search out certain incantation creatures to get ritual monsters or rituals to my hand. Really love this card. It's really fun. Next, I got 3 copies of Small World. Long story short, this one lets me reveal a creature from my hand, then go look for a creature from my deck who has one of these certain restriction or one of these certain stipulations matching the card I revealed. So long story short, I reveal one from my hand, and then I find one that's in my deck that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense, and banish the revealed monster from my hand face down. Then add from my deck to my hand one monster that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense from out as the chosen monster from the deck, and banish the chosen card from the deck face down. Long story short, I'm going to be banishing 2 cards to look for specific cards. This card is mainly going to be used to look for either Nibiru if I'm having troubles getting rid of cards, or looking for everyone's favorite Zaborg, big monarch boy, so I can get the combo going that I'll be talking about later on here. Moving right along, we got 2 Cycle of the World. This lets me ritual summon using creatures that are on my field, and they can be either exactly the amount I need or more than that, star level wise. But the beautiful thing about this is that if, let's say I use this, boom, goes to the graveyard, it's your turn, comes back to me, I can use its secondary ability to shuffle this back into the deck. Then I get to go find a End of the World, put it into my hand, then get to find one Ruin Queen of Oblivion or Demise King of Armageddon from my graveyard to my hand. So it's a nice way to recycle things that isn't monster reliable. It is just spell reliable. I just have to use the spell, and then hopefully, depending on what the game is, if I survive one turn, I can go find other things, which is really nice. Now, the other card it speaks of that I can go search out is End of the World. This one lets me ritual summon from either my hand or the battlefield, but they have to be exact star level. And that's the only restriction with this one, which I'm okay with that because, like I said, that's why I run multiple copies of Demise and Ruin, both the 10 and the 8s, is just because it's nice to just get them out. And if I have 2 of them in my hand, I'm like, well, I want to use both of them. I can, ritual summon one with the other. And because it's a ritual monster, it gets that secondary effect of the cool cards. Next up, these are the final 3 copies, the final spells. It is Pre-Preparation of Rites. Long story short, this one just adds a ritual spell from my deck to my hand, and then 1 ritual monster from my deck or graveyard to my hand whose name is mentioned on the ritual spell. So these 3, basically what I'll do if I don't have either one, play this, go look for End of the World or Cycle of the World. More than likely, I might do Cycle of the World so I can play it just because, like I said, 1 turn, boom. Play it this turn, my next turn, can shuffle it back into my deck, go look for one of these, and a ritual monster. So not only do I get 1 creature on the field, I can go do it again next turn. Pretty safe, pretty self-explanatory, really nice. Last but not least, I have 3 trap cards, and that's going to be Infinite Impermanence. Long story short, I want to just basically negate effects of monsters on my opponent's side of the field, whether this is free from my hand or it's set and it gets rid of that whole column just in case I'm scared of like a spell or a trap going off. But yeah, that is the main deck Next, we're going to move on to the extra deck. I'll make this super fast, super simple, just because I don't want to keep you here for too long. Long story short, this next one is going to be the extra deck. The extra deck is very, very simple. I'm not going to keep you here long. Got 2 copies of the Elder Entity Intis, I think is how you explain it. Long story short, she's only here for her second, or her ability. If she is sent to the graveyard, that would be Zaborg. I can immediately destroy a card on the field that my opponent controls. Next up, we have 3 copies of Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. If these are sent in, or these are in my graveyard, and there's a creature on the field, I can banish this card and get rid of one of their monsters. I can only activate one of them per turn, but it's still nice to have those in the graveyard just in case I, kind of scare the opponent into doing stuff. Next up, we got 3 copies of Herald of the Arc Light. Long story short, these are going to the graveyard. When they go to the graveyard, they activate. I can go search for 1 ritual monster or 1 ritual spell. And with Zaborg, I'll mainly be sending these 8 usually almost every time, so I can destroy 2 of any card, get rid of 1 card on my turn, and then go search for 3 ritual monsters, 3 ritual spells, 1 of each, and then, go search for ritual stuff. It's very nice, very fun. Next up, we have Wind Pegasus. I think it's at Ignister is how you pronounce this thing. This one has in the graveyard as well. I can banish this card, then target 1 card my opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck, and I can only use it once per turn, but there's only 1 of them. Next up, I have Psy Framelord, 1 copy. And basically what Framelord does is if he's in the graveyard, I can activate him, and I can return him plus another card that's in the graveyard. So 1 of these if I want to do the Zaborg combo again, or 1 of my ritual monsters, anything else that's in the graveyard. Very fun, very nice. Next up, we have number 84, Pain Gainer. Long story short, this one can also be a board wipe because it has an ability that this card gains defense equal to the combined ranks of all XYZ monsters you control times 200. And then it's each time your opponent activates a spell or trap card, inflicts 600 damage to your opponent immediately as it resolves. And then once per turn, I can detach 1 material from this card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with defense less than or equal to this card. Long story short, another board wipe, keeping it sweet, keeping it simple. I got Super Dreadnought, 1 copy, Rail Cannon, Gustav Max. Summon this in with the 2 big 10 versions of Ruin and Demise, then detach 1 material from that and inflict 2,000 damage. So if, let's say, there's 1 creature on the field and I get rid of it, I have basically enough to attack with this, or if I just need to finish you off, just attach something, blow it up. Next, we have Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon, Juggernaut. I think it's Libre, 1 copy of that. This is just here, in my opinion, because it's just fun. It's just one of those things that if I want to, I can, because once per turn, I can attach 1 material from this card and it gets 2,000 attack and defense, but for the rest of the turn, I can only attack with that, which I'm okay with. It's going to pump it up from 4,000 to 6,000. It's just a really hard-hitting thing. Second to last, we have number 77, the 7 Sins. Basically, what this card is it's mainly here just for the last card, really, but it does have a cool ability if I ever do it. Once per turn, I can detach 2 materials from this card, banish as many special monsters on my opponent's field as possible. Then attach 1 of the banished monsters to this card as material. If this face-up card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, I can attach 1 monster or 1 material from this card instead. It's basically here to get another board wipe is essentially what it's here for. It's a lot of board wipes in this. Last but not least, everyone's favorite XYZ summon, from my understanding. Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus Sky Thunder. He's basically here to get rid of all the cards as well. Just another board wipe. Thought it was really fun. But yeah, this is my deck. I very much enjoy it. And hopefully you guys understand more of what I was trying to do and you like it. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. And I can't wait to try another deck tech.